Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Last Samurai. It's a movie starring Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe. It does also have the rat guy from Harry Potter, and then the Drucker character from The Sixth Day. But they aren't as main characters as Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe. So as always, I'm going to give it the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off with, the furry. There isn't any. Moving on. The good. The whole movie, basically. It's that good. It is Matrix quality good. Basically, the only bad thing that I will say is that this movie was made in 2003, and back then CGI was exceptionally expensive, and there was a couple of little faraway shot type things where you can kind of tell nowadays that it's like, okay, that's some CGI going on. But other than that, holds up very well. I will have to say, for a caveat, I am a little biased towards Tom Cruise. Pretty much anything that he is in, I will see, and so many of his things, especially his action-type movies, are gonna be Matrix-level quality or close to it, because I'm a Tom Cruise fan. Also, Ken Watanabe. I'm a big fan of Ken Watanabe, so pretty much everything that he's in is gonna be really good. So the fact that they have these two together is just fantastic. So this movie is about Ken Watanabe's character, and he is the leader of a group of samurai that are basically trying to stick with the old way of doing things, whereas the people that hire Tom Cruise's character are wanting to advance Japan and bring them into the modern era. And this is like after the American Indian War, that kind of thing. So it's around that time frame where they're still initially using muskets, but there are expensive guns that do have like repeating action. But that's not what the Japanese army has. So, you know, samurai swords and arrows versus muskets, basically. So it is so good. The Tom Cruise's character's progression as once he's minor spoiler, once his character is captured, the progression that his character has is very believable. And I really like seeing what they have for this movie is that they show that, like, you know, hey, you understand that they're trying to keep their culture and trying to keep things how they were, and there's good aspects to that, and yet trying to bring Japan into the modern era, you know, how they're doing it may not be the best way of how they're doing it, but, you know, there are advantages to accepting modern ways and modern technology. So it's showing that, you know, not everything is good and everything is bad and vice versa. There's things that are, it's a complicated time. And I mean, I am not a Japanese historian or anything close to that. So maybe this is completely inaccurate, but I didn't really get that feel from it, or just when it originally came out, I don't remember hearing a whole bunch of like, this movie is controversial because it plays blah, 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 blah. Like, it seems to have done honor to that time period. So I thought that it showed things very well, and how, you know, just the difficulties of a society that's modernizing. And it also has the dude from a couple of the movies that I've seen him in, but he's the dude that keeps on kicking Tom Cruise's character's butt. I've seen him in a couple of things. He's in it. I really enjoyed his character. He did a good job. Everybody does a good job in this movie, and the action scenes are very well shot. So again, 2003. This is before the entire, you know, action and era movie landscape had just been just overwrought with huge sweeping crowd shots of just hundreds, thousands, millions of CGI little people in the far ground just having their little skirmishes and whatnot. This movie, there were a couple wide shots, but they didn't look CGI heavy, which a lot of them from shortly after this era kind of did. And it wasn't just, oh, hey, there's big wide shots, look at this sweeping thing. Like, you know, everybody talks about Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones and how amazing that fight sequence was, but for both the, you know, big battle scenes as well as a couple of smaller, like, individual battle scenes, they were extremely well shot, and they kept you entertained, they kept you gripped, and they kept you also oriented, and they also kept it on the people that we care about. So it wasn't just big CGI, random, pawns fighting each other, or just too close of shots where like you couldn't tell what's going on or anything else. Like this, the action scenes were very well done, and they also made sense within the writing line of the story. And I really liked that they made sense, but they were still entertaining and shot well. And speaking of things that made sense and were entertaining, shot well, Ken Watanabe, his character, I really liked that his character had the shaved head look. I don't know if it's just because maybe, Ken Watanabe had just recently shaved his head for a different role, if it's because he has a really prominent widow's peak, or what. But to me, it felt like he had like a bit of a monk thing going on. So, he's not this bloodthirsty character that he's initially made out to be. He is a man of peace who's just wanting to keep the traditions of his people alive. So I like that I think that helped to show what his character was all about. Just with that hairstyle. And speaking of hairstyles, I'm a fan of Tom Cruise with long hair, and his character had long hair in this film, so I'm glad they had that. But yeah, so obviously music and sound were great. So yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I know it's from 2003, but like I said, it holds up very well, and it has amazing writing and amazing actors and good pacing, and it's really, really good. So unless you absolutely hate Tom Cruise or Ken Watanabe or samurai in general, unless you absolutely hate those, you should watch this movie. So yeah, hope you watch it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.